Hello, everyone. My name is C Tactics, and welcome to the Fruits Basket Podcast with my special co-host, the one and only PewDiePie.
Wait, you're replacing me with PewDiePie? Okay, I'll go now. Good night.
No, wait, no, you're PewDiePie. The joke is you were PewDiePie.
But I thought I was Satsuki the Savage.
Ah, god damn it. I messed up the intro.
Exactly. So we need to just rewatch all of Fruits Basket and come back with a new intro.
You know, I agree. We should just go ahead and just watch all of Fruits Basket again. I can get down with that. That's something I can support.
Oh, that gives me an idea.
Oh, it does.
Yes. What if this takes a break, then we go watch the original Fruits Basket and then do a podcast comparing them?
I mean, this is going to take a break because the way this is just season 1, what we're watching. And there's going to be multiple seasons.
And then after season 1, we need to watch season 3.
Wait, what?
And then we need to watch season 5 of Symphogear.
Wait, slow down. Why are we watching season 2?
We watched that after season 3. Don't you know how to count?
Oh, god damn it.
So, welcome everyone to the Fruits Basket Podcast, the podcast where I try to confuse tactics as much as possible.
Also, the only podcast to have Shiro Emiya. Shiro? Everybody? Shiro?
Shiro's okay.
Okay, you can go rest now, Shiro.
Yeah, the Cleats version of Shiro is the best, though. I'm sure the fans will agree.
So, let's talk about Fruits Basket episode 13. How have you been, my brother?
Oh, I've been pretty good. What about? Oh, wait, you're talking about the episode. Sorry.
Yes. Last episode got lots of great informations in the comment section. Things like, hey, each title is a quote from one of the characters. And lo and behold, it's 100% true because, the title of this episode is from Ayame-san. Also, what's up, Francesca?
Yeah, I forget what the episode title of this one was.
How have you been, my brother?
Oh, yes, that makes sense. You said that, didn't you?
Yes. Don't worry. Sometimes you zone out. It happens.
Yeah, we don't even try to be this bad at this. It's a special skill we have.
Fruits Basket episode 13. Fruits Basket episode 13. How have you been, my brother? Oh my god, this episode is awesome. Aya shows up and Perv's out for like 20 minutes. Watch Fruits Basket, please. I love this episode.
That was a good summary, but yes, it describes everything that happened. Yuki's brother shows up. He does pervy things with pretty much anyone he can try to do pervy things with, and then he goes away, and we will never see him again because he gets struck by a meteor next episode. I hope.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a weird occurrence just for. Yeah, meteor came by, hit him, he's dead. Nothing we can do about it. It was just a random thing.
I think that happens every day, doesn't it?
So at the beginning of this episode, Toru and Yuki are tending to the garden, and Toru is just so freaking excited for everything to start growing because it's Toru and she's happy about everything, which, by the way, we got some comments last episode as well of people telling us I think we kind of misunderstood Toru a little bit as being we kind of described her as being kind of dumb, I guess.
Yeah, probably wasn't the right way to put it. It's like she's sort of naive, but she's not like that traveling idiot person.
Right. She's more of I don't know. She's kind of, I don't want to say ditzy, but she's a really sweet girl who says a lot of sweet, nice things, and sometimes, during a live podcast, not all the right words come out.
Exactly. Like, we don't script this at all. I don't even know English nor watch the show. I just come out here and say things.
Actually, we are professionally paid actors, and this is a script we're reading from.
Oh yes, and this next script says something about go subscribe to C Tactics.
I can agree with that. 10 more subscribers, I get 3K subs, and something weird happens. I don't know what's going to happen once I hit 3K subs, but something cool is going to happen.
Is that to record a live wrestling match between you and Mr. Kitty and then lose horribly?
Yeah.
All right, I'll look forward to seeing that.
Anyways, so yeah, Toru's really excited about the garden. That was pretty cute. Yuki's really excited as well. That was pretty cute. And then Toru's like, oh, I'm gonna go back. And then she sees a bunch of clothes, and immediately, you're like, oh, another Zodiac member. Hoo-hoo, another Soma. What are we gonna get this time?
Yep.
And it was a snake.
Well, going back for a second, just when Yuki was saying he was hungry, I just thought that that frame showed him to be really cute and innocent, and Yuki is a babe.
Yes, Yuki is a babe. I don't know if we brought that up at all during this podcast. I don't know if we've beaten that into the ground enough yet. Yuki is a babe.
Yes, so this episode confirmed that. Confirmed what we were saying all along.
So yeah, the snake crawls into Toru's clothes. And Toru is just freaking out. Like, she's not moving. She's just like, it's in my clothes, Yuki. Yuki takes it. The opening happens. And Yuki takes it to Shigure. And Yuki's like, skin it. Skin it now. Kill it and skin it.
I feel like that's a bit excessive. Though, couldn't Yuki had just taken his guardian things and beat it up or cut it in half or done it that way too if you wanted to kill him?
Yeah, I thought this was funny. This was just genuinely, I laughed too loud at this.
And you don't see Yuki being that wound up or violent unless it's responding to Kyo's violence.
Yep, but when it comes to his brother snaking up a girl's clothes, he's like, nope, none of that today.
I mean, if my brother started doing that, I might act similarly.
Just imagine Astro turning into a snake, crawling up women's clothes.
That would be weird for many reasons.
Words. Yeah. So it's Ayame. Aya. I'm gonna call him Aya. Aya.
Yeah, Aya is a good name because it's easy to spell.
That's true. And he turns back into a human, and he comes out, and he's like, "Hi, everybody. I'm Aya. I'm Yuki's brother." And Toru's like, it's an adult version of Yuki.
And they realize, wait, he acts nothing like Yuki.
Yeah, the complete opposite, actually, of Yuki. Yuki is very reserved, very to himself, and Aya's like, hey, you guys want to bang?
Pretty much, he's like, okay, I want lunch. I'm taking thought, Toru, I'm taking you out for lunch. See you other guys later.
I love it. His character is so... He's so pervy, but I don't know, it doesn't come off as creepy, even though it is creepy in some ways. It doesn't, I don't know, it's funny.
It's more fun than creepy.
Right. It's not a weird uncle thing, right? Hey, come over here, kid. It's none of that. You want some of this bourbon?
Now I want a chicken.
Aya caused Toru the princess trapped in the castle with all of these awful beasts. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's perfect. I love him.
Yeah, and then I ended up I did not like him much at first. I was like, okay, he's weird. I don't get him. And okay, I thought my computer's about to restart, but it's not, so that's good.
Oh, that would have been bad.
That'd be funny. But yeah, and then I like when he took Toru out to lunch, and when he's with Toru, he's more normal and he gets a better handle on him, other than him being just all over the place and pervy and telling stories and everything else that he does.
Right, and this is actually one of, I think, an underrated part of the episode. I'm not sure. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's squished in there in between a bunch of pervy, funny stuff. But yeah, Toru gets just, as she says it, swept along.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
And yeah, we learned that Yuki and Aya. Yuki used to be sick when he was much younger, and he was, as he says, quarantined off.
Right.
And he, in turn, quarantined himself from Yuki, which means he ignored him, pretty much. Was not in Yuki's life.
Well, yeah, this isn't the first time we've heard of Yuki being sick, too, because there was the first or second episode, and then the one where he met Haru, where he just kind of sort of passed out.
Did he have the Black Plague?
Yeah, and I think there might be some connection to Akito, or Akito makes it worse. So at least that's a theory of mine.
Never thought of that. That would be interesting.
Well, yeah, because he was quarantined because he was sick, and then last episode Akito was saying that you need to go back to your dark solitude room, whatever that was. So
yeah.
So there's definitely seems to be a connection there.
Which also, with playing into Akito's sickness as well, to where he, I guess, doesn't have as good of an immune system. By the way, just as an aside, just real quick, also in the last video, in the comments, people did bring up that what Haru showed the student president was his pubes.
Yeah. I mean,
Moving
what else
on.
would it be?
Whatever's below that.
No, he wouldn't have to go to the bathroom to do that.
Oh, I don't even know where that. So,
So
yeah.
back to things that don't have to deal with Haru's pubes.
Yeah. So yeah, Yuki. That he was, I guess, maybe this was part of it. You're right, where he was quarantined off into this special room that kept him from getting other sick, or kept him from himself getting worse. And this seems to be something like it's happened to Akito. Now it's happening to Yuki. I do wonder what's going on.
Yeah, there's definitely a connection between Yuki and Akito, since they both they look kind of alike. They're both frail, and they both get sick easily. So, and I wonder, Yuki seems to mostly be better now, but he's away from the Soma household, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe he's such a babe that if he looks into a mirror, he gets sick.
Exactly, and that's why Shigure hid all the mirrors.
Exactly.
See, it makes perfect. Like, have you seen a mirror in the Soma house?
I haven't.
Yeah, don't answer that because you might have, but that would ruin my point.
I mean, actually, there may have been a mirror.
Yeah, we will never know. It's a mystery for the entire anime that they will never tell us. And yeah, so something else that I noticed this episode is Ayumi, how he also does not live in the Soma central estate. It seems like most of the characters, at least a good portion of them, don't.
Yeah, it seems
like half of them at least, because you have Yuki, you have Kyo, you have Shigure, you have Ayumi, and we know Momoji does, but does Haru? Or
I don't know where Haru lives. I don't think they've specifically mentioned. They may have.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know how it is with these podcasts and me. I write notes during the show, not after. So yeah, Toru and Aya go out to this dinner. They talk about this rift that's growing between them, or I guess Toru pins that part. But Toru also mentions that she's had a similar kind of situation with the parental and family stuff, where Toru's mother, she understood what it was like to be a mother when she became one, and the hardships of that, but also she made sure that she didn't want to forget what it was like to be a child, so that she could communicate with children and understand them, and the children can understand her in turn, to where she could be, I guess, a better parent.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing that they brought up, and just shows how you don't want to completely forget the past as you're living in the present.
Right. You don't forget the lessons you've learned as a child,
right,
because those lessons may apply to other children, right?
Oh, sorry, I was yawning and couldn't talk.
There's also Ayame is like your to Toru. He's like, your mother must be you must really like your mother. You must really think she's great. And Toru's like, yeah, my mother's the best in the universe. And her face just lights up, and I'm like, oh, god damn it.
Toru is awesome.
Toru's great. She's just a big ball of positivity.
Toru is a big ball of Toru.
Oh yes. Sometimes when you say Toru, I think Toru from Dragon Maid.
No, I'm talking about the good Toru.
Oh god. Now there's a bunch of people going to downvote the video now. Ah, god dang it.
You're right, I should downvote it.
God dang it. So yeah, then they go back to the Soma house, and Toru's like, "Hey, Yuki, what do you think about your brother? Do you hate him?" And Yuki's like, "Nah, I don't hate him. I just find him difficult." And he has this weird smile when he's saying it, kind of like what he's saying is bringing him joy, but also a little bit of I don't know. There's a little bit of hardness there, a little bit of sadness, maybe.
Yeah, it's like when Yuki and him are together, they like Yuki just seems to just keep pushing him away, but there might be like a little bit of regret, but also like he's okay being on his own away from his brother.
Right. It to me, what it seems like is he definitely wants to get closer to his brother. At the same time, he's okay. He doesn't like depend on his brother because he's grown up as an independent.
Yeah, it's like almost as if he's an only child because of like how far his brother has been his whole life.
Right, and maybe in a weird way, him being absent taught Yuki to care for himself while at the same time causing him a burden.
Yes, like he's independent, but he's also very much a loner type. It's like he doesn't let people get close to him normally, and that could be like he's been forced to be alone, so it's like been ingrained in him.
I find this very relatable, especially for a lot of American families. There is just, and a lot of them don't realize this, but a lot of American families are super dysfunctional because in America, the way, I don't want to get too political here. It's not really a political thing, but a lot of families, it's hard for families to communicate to one another sometimes. I'll say that.
So since this is not a political podcast, you're saying we should vote for you for president in 2023.
I was going to say Astro, but...
Okay, I'll be right back. I need to go vote for Astro.
Oh, God.
Astro just logged onto Discord. Interesting. Right as we said that.
So it turns out that Aya was once again in Toru's clothes, and Yuki is not happy again.
I mean, how would you feel if you found your brother in the clothes of a girl who you liked?
I would... What? I'd be mad. I'd be sad. And I'd probably have to go kick my brother's ass.
Exactly. So
or
you
get
understand
my own
how
ass kicked. Whichever it may be.
You would try, and one of those two things would happen.
The way it should be.
Exactly.
Yeah, this scene was pretty good just because it didn't stay too serious for long. It quickly went from like super serious, like, hey Yuki, there's some shit you're dealing with, let's talk about it, to oh, that brother.
I ended up not liking the comedic scene here that much because it felt like it was like dragging on without adding anything really to the story. It's like, especially after the last scene, they had set up like Yuki and Aya's relationship, how like maybe they can start to bridge it, but there was like no progress made. If anything, it went backwards, kind of invalidating the setup in the previous scene.
I could see it. I could see that. I love the ending to this scene though. Toru starts to talk more and more about the rift, and she's like, "Oh no, the rift."
Well, it's like it was near the end where they had like 2 or 3 conversations going on at once.
Oh no, that's the very, very end.
Oh, okay.
But she starts to bring up how like there's a rift between them, and after this scene, Toru's like, I think it's getting a little better. Like the rift is starting to close in, and it's starting to go away. Which, in conjunction with the last scene, she at the end says, "Oh no, the rift, it's getting even bigger."
Oh yeah, so much for the rift to be mended, but this might be another thing like Kaguya where it takes a long time for it actually to like get to a good part for me.
Oh really?
Yeah, well, or it might be just how this show is kind of like slow with the character development. It's like you have the setup, but then you don't get a payoff until later. So
right. Then Toru goes, I think, to talk to Emoji-san.
Oh yeah.
And then Emoji-san.
Okay, yeah, I was getting a couple scenes mixed up. You're right.
Emoji-san, this is one of my favorite lines in this episode. Emoji-san says, Aya said he sells men's dreams.
Oh, yes.
That was beautiful.
Exactly. And something I like when they have like these more perverted things, they like start out kind of thing. It's like, oh, do they really mean that? It could be innocent. The other one's like, oh, no, it's not innocent.
And the way Emoji-san's saying it, he's so innocent. He doesn't understand. He doesn't realize what he's saying is so pervy and just so lewd. But it is, and that's what makes it funny.
Emoji-san is best pure character.
Yes, Emoji-san. I love it. Someone found that amusing in the last podcast.
Yeah, I was looking through the comments. I noticed that, and like, I'm glad that someone appreciates our incorrect names.
We then get backstory on Aya, where it starts out like it's like a flashback, and when it starts out, you're like, oh, this is gonna be really dark, and like he's got a really dark look, and like everything's blue and black.
Okay, yeah, I was wrong about this scene before. Like this upcoming scene was one I didn't care for as much.
Are you talking about this flashback scene?
Yeah, like the one that you were talking about before. You're right. I did not disagree with that one.
I did not mind this scene, but I think you have something there when you say you didn't like it, because he goes on this little rant against this principal and is like, I'm from the family of Lulu Bara. We're supposed to grow our hair out long, because the principal's trying to get him to cut his hair because
ignore that in the background. Sorry.
Oh jeez, because he accepted that Aya has that color of hair naturally.
Yeah,
but
I wonder if he did what Haru did to prove it.
Oh god, he probably did. That's the first thing he probably did. So yeah, he tells the story about Lulu Bara and how he's like the prince of this family and all of this nonsense, and the principal's like, I gotta go. He tries to find a way to get out of it. He's like, I don't want to talk to this guy anymore. Get me out of here.
Yeah, just jump out the window like Kyo.
Yeah, just jump out of the window.
They need more characters jumping out windows. That's what anime needs to be good.
Exactly. I can definitely see why you would not like this scene. It's so dialogue heavy. I don't think you're supposed to technically like this scene for what is being said or how it's done. I think it's supposed to be overly long and ridiculous. I think you're supposed to stop paying attention to what they're saying as well, because at one point there's a lot of dialogue on the screen you got to read.
Well, no, they're saying so much. Like I followed the one conversation just so I could kind of keep up. When like he was telling his story, I was just like taking notes. I wasn't pausing anything because I didn't care what they were saying.
Yeah, I don't think you were supposed to care what they were saying. It was some nonsensical story. I'm sure there's some meaning to it. If there is, put down in the comments below, of course. Make sure to like the video as well.
I even took a break from watching the anime, just like tweet things to Donald Trump like I do when I get bored.
I love the thought of you when you get bored. You're just like, I'm going to tweet something to Donald Trump.
I have other stories about what I do when I get bored at work, but I should save those for another time.
After this flashback happens, this may be I'm not gonna say the funniest thing I've seen in a while, but it's probably the funniest thing I've seen in a while. Aya goes on a huge rant. It's one of the most beautiful things ever. There's so much that's said. I can't possibly quote it all, because it would take 24 minutes, just as long as the episode, to actually quote them and to discuss every single one of them. At one point, he brings up the red light district, and they're like, the red light district?
Yeah, it's that one. And then it gets worse.
He then, at one point, yells out, I don't care if it's top or bottom.
No, I thought that he said
bottom.
Like, he was asking, like, if the people listening to him, if saying that, oh, you probably wonder if I'm a top or bottom, and then he just proclaims, I'm a bottom, deal with it.
He yells it, and then the other people start yelling, you moron!
Exactly. Like, they're going through, okay, he's so passionate, he's on to something. It's like, no, he's absolutely not on to anything.
Oh, well, this is happening. Toru is like, oh no, the rift is growing. Yuki is getting the way Yuki reacts. It's so great. Yuki is like, "Get out." He says it so like nicely. He's got a smile on his face, just so nonchalantly. Just get out.
No, it's not the smile like you want Yuki to have. It's the smile like, yes, and I have 57 ways to remove you from this premise one body part at a time, should I need it.
I love after he gets kicked out and Tori takes him and they go. Oh my god, this is such a good quote. Kyo says, "What just happened?" That's all he says. He just says, "What just happened?"
Yeah, like I like how Kyo is as weirded out by some of these things as we are.
I love it. I love it.
Huh, that's interesting. Apparently I have mod powers in the chat. That's good to know.
Oh yeah, I think you're a mod. I don't know. Whoever made you a mod, you're now a mod.
Okay, I should delete the entire chat.
No! That would be terrible. So yeah, Hattori comes to get Aya. And apparently we learn here, this is a really nice little thing to know, but Aya basically does whatever Hattori says.
Yeah. It's like no other character can control him, but Hattori, I think I forget characters' names. Oh, Hattori, yeah, like he's the only one who can control him, and he does everything he says because like he looks up to him in a way, so he'll do that. Yeah,
they show a bunch of pictures of them as handsome teenagers, as they say, which is a nice thing.
They're the type of teenager Shigure likes.
Speaking of, we didn't bring up this. This is something that was just brought like it was just, you know, kind of, I don't know, not well. Yeah, it was kind of said, pretty much. Aya and Shigure seemed to be in some sort of relationship, or were in some sort of relationship.
Yeah, I'm not sure like how true that is. If it's just Aya just saying his perverted things like he always does.
Shigure seemed rather flirtatious back.
It's also Shigure who writes romance novels.
This is true. That's where he got his material from Aya.
No, he got his material from watching anime.
That also I could believe.
Specifically Symphogear and then Kiss Him Not Me.
Kiss Him Not Me is another funny anime. That would fit right in if that anime aired like next or this season, that would fit right in with this channel.
That would be a great... It was a fun show. I want a season 2.
Oh, Francesca says Shigure and Aya pretending to be in a relationship is just a joke between the two. Okay, so it's like you know, when you're hanging out with the dudes and you're like, I'll suck your D. I'll do it right now, bitch.
It's like you and Garfield.
Yeah, it's like me and Garfield. We just get really gay.
Yes, and then I screenshot it to use against you later.
Yeah. I love it.
You should go check out the ReZero podcast. Tim and Garfield say things.
We say Garfield says things that then I react and try to one-up him, and then I fail because he's Garfield.
Yes, even if you don't watch ReZero, just watch the intro. They're amazing. Sometimes Garfield sings.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much like that's the only reason you watch. I think is because of those intros.
Exactly. I don't want ReZero spoiled for me. I just love the intros because Garfield is Garfield.
Yep.
So back on the topic of not ReZero.
Yes. Yuki the next day goes to school. He goes to Haru and he's like, Haru, and Haru's like, yes, what is it? Whatever you need, I will be there for you. Like he has that look of like, what is wrong, Yuki? My love.
You have the non-crazy Haru.
Yeah, the romantic Haru.
Yes.
And Yuki is like, I appreciate you, Haru, and Haru's like, oh, cool. This is in a moment where we can romance. This is cool. This is just a moment where we can appreciate each other. I like it.
Yeah, I like that scene. It's just showing how Yuki is starting to open up. He's starting to appreciate the people around him, and just a good moment of family between him and Haru that isn't weird like some of their family.
Yeah, the Soma family seemed, a lot of them seemed like very lewd individuals.
Also, I love Toru's expressions.
Yes, Toru's expressions are the best. They're just so funny.
Wait, she has twintails this episode.
How did I not notice that?
I expect more from you.
God damn it. Twin Tail Toru is the best. Then at the end...
Oh, okay. Francesca explained that the reason he thanked Haru was because Haru who got Hatara. I missed that piece. So thank you, Francesca.
Oh, okay. Yes. Francesca's like the best.
Yes. She is best commenter.
Yeah. I agree. Most of our commenters are kind of the best. They fill us in on so many things we miss.
Because we don't know things about like how Haru does things.
You know, English is not even my first language, and English is my first language. How is that possible? Don't know.
Exactly. Also, one of the commenters just make me wonder what Hanaharu is. I'll figure that one out later.
Is it Hanaharu? Is that Hana and Haru? Whoa.
Maybe.
Whoa. I felt like I just I felt like I just got woke.
Exactly.
Thinking about that.
I'm glad you've learned so much.
So at the end, so earlier in the episode, actually, to get this inside joke, someone says something about maid outfits and
oh yes, maid and wedding outfits, and what else was it?
A bunch of like an apron or something.
Yeah.
And at the end, Toru goes to, this is the very last scene. Toru goes to Hana and Uo, and she's like, and I don't even know where to buy like aprons and maid outfits. And then Hana's like, sex themed club?
It's like, yes. And then Toru starts putting things together, or maybe not because she's Toru.
Oh god, this episode was just beautiful. I love this episode.
Yes, this episode is in my top 13 episodes of the show so far.
This is true. And I mean, there's only this is the 13th episode.
Yes, I know what I said.
You can never
I still
be
don't
wrong.
think it does not top the last episode 12, because that had amazing comedy, and that was great.
I don't know. I like this one a little bit more just for how it had a little like this episode. Obviously, I think was an answer to the last episode's darkness.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being the purpose of it, especially if you were marathoning this and did not have a break. This would really be needed to keep the show from being too dark. Right.
Yeah. This episode was very much like, hey, Yuki has a brother. He's probably going to show up later in the series. Let's get you let's get you like knowledgeable of this guy before we go, so we don't have to introduce him later on in the show.
Exactly.
Ayame owns a cosplay shop. That's why Toru said it. Sorry, I keep randomly explaining stuff. No, it's fine. It's fine. We need the explaining.
Yes, we like explanations. We don't know anything. We don't even know what the show is.
I didn't know there's such thing as cosplay shops. Is that a thing in Japan?
I mean, there's a uniform shop near where I live, but I don't think those are the same thing.
Uniform shop?
Yeah, there are a couple. I'm kind of been surprised about that.
Do you have to like wear a uniform to get into the uniform shop?
I should go find out. I'm gonna go now and find out. Goodbye.
No, so you're in the middle of a podcast.
That doesn't mean I can't randomly leave. I always like to do it on my phone on the way there.
So yeah, this episode, I really like this episode. Yeah, thought it was good.
Yeah.
We had all the characters, you know, that are important show back up. Emoji-san is back again for a little bit.
We have all the good characters.
Right. They're God. That's why I didn't notice Toru had twin tails, is because there were double braided twin tails.
Oh yeah, and it depends on the camera angle. I didn't notice until I saw a picture with him.
Ugh. Twin tail Toru is the best.
Soji would be proud.
Twin tail Ayame. Make it happen. God damn it.
I'm now picturing things. Thank you for letting me picture things.
Everybody needs to have twin tails. I don't care who it is. Make him have twin tails.
We should do a Twin Tails podcast.
Kyo, get Kyo some twin tails.
I want to see that now.
Probably get really mad.
So you like braid them in twin tails when you're sleeping. Notice.
Probably like meow. Because he made that noise last episode, right? Or was that episode before that? One of those.
It was an episode that I forgot about because it's been too long.
It's been like 2 days.
A lot can happen in 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. But how could you forget the greatness that is Fruits Basket?
Well, have you ever been to a country called Africa?
What does this have to do with Africa?
I got kind of lost today.
Oh my god. This is the part of the show where I'm going to remind you guys that I have a Discord that you can join. There's a Fruits Basket chat in there. We got a couple people already in there talking about Fruits Basket. It's pretty nice. Also, follow me.
I was going to say we had someone join the Discord during our podcast thing.
See, that's good. I didn't realize.
Yep.
Not a lot of people have joined in recent weeks. Probably because, I've been absent until recently. But also, follow me at CTacticsYT on Twitter. And plug for my main channel. When I get 3K, something cool's going to happen. I don't know what it is, but I know what it is, and it's going to be cool. Rising knows what it is.
Okay, I thought I knew what it was.
Okay. Give him a hint. This part is not scripted.
Okay,
Give him a hint.
Whenever I think about this thing, it really grips my heart, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
Yes, I'm referring to that.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, yeah, that's really good.
People think I'm terrible whenever I bring that up in reference to that, but I was glad to see that thing happen.
It's beautiful. Let's see if I can do one.
It also reminds me of Coldplay.
It also reminds me of being afraid in Las Vegas, but and loathing the times that I spent there.
I'm kind of afraid you might have said too much.
Nah. They could really take that in like 3 different directions easily.
Yeah, they'll probably be on the hunt for what you're talking about.
Oh, hell yeah, they will. Even if they figure out what I'm saying by that, they still got to narrow it down. And then if they find out, they don't even know what that means. What it means to find the thing that I am talking about rather elusively. Francesca is confused. I win.
Yes. The only thing better than confusing C Tactics is confusing the chat.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
Yes.
So,
this chatter's best chat. Thank you, chat, for being awesome and explaining things and being confused.
Everyone's so confused. I love it. So where can they find you, Rising?
They can find me on the Twitters. They can find me on the YouTubes.
You cut out during that. You're going to have to repeat it.
They can find me on Twitter. They can find me on YouTube. They can also find me on Anime Amina, where I post a short video every week. Except this week, I don't really have an idea yet. So if you have an idea what I should talk about, let me know, and maybe I'll go make a video on it.
Yeah, you can find me on my main channel. Yeah. That's it.
Okay, apparently Francesca is almost confused as us when we watch Fruits Basket.
That's beautiful.
If you really want to see confused, have him watch Twin Tales.
Oh yeah, that's gonna confuse me. King's Game confused me a lot as well. That was a fun one to watch.
Dude, someone in Fruits Basket chat is saying things. Oh, emotionally stunted potato. Hello.
So yeah, thanks everybody for commenting. In the live chat, all that. That's this fun episode. See you later. Bye.
Bye.